I hate this thing. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, stupid thing. It hates me today. I think pretty much everything I've attempted to do today has failed. So I apologize to everyone for having to start over. 1 second. And there we go. Oh, technical difficulties. Great. I would love to get it together, Caleb, but for some strange reason, can't do it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, we're in there.
Sorry about that. Now I gotta
You good?
try and find a way to get it Caleb back on here because it told Caleb try to hop out and hop back in and see if it's gonna let you.
We ain't going to go. We can go now.
Trying to figure out why it's not. I'm trying to let you in, Caleb. Don't be so mean. I tried. It said technical difficulty. So apparently it doesn't want you on here. It seems that you're in trouble, which is not entirely inaccurate, I suppose. I know, get my life together. I know, I'm trying. I feel really silly because earlier when I initially created the event, I forgot to designate 8 p.m. as the time frame because I was doing it at like the 5 minutes I could step away from my job. So I went back to correct it, and it wouldn't let me.
Mm.
So I had to create a brand new one.
You go in the
So,
house.
so we'll see if everybody's actually able to see it right off the bat. Oh, there's Bruce. Let me see if it'll let me add Bruce.
I'm not going in.
Watch it. Watch it. Ah, there's. It
We
let
got
Bruce
one.
in, but it wouldn't let him in.
How you doing,
What's
Mr. Bruce?
happening? Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Yeah, I know I'm kind of a little late. I'm trying to tag this guy up in here too.
Don't worry about being late. This is the second time I've started this video.
Oh,
Two
is it?
Yeah.
times. Oh yeah.
Why? What's
Oh
wrong?
yeah.
What's wrong?
I've
What happened?
been winning today.
Winning what?
I was telling Nathaniel that I essentially I had created
Bruce.
this while I
What's
was at
up?
work, and yeah, not the right time.
All right, so Amanda has failed all day today. So she set this live for 1 p.m. today. Then we get on, she has technical
Stupid.
difficulties. So,
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Nathaniel, I'm so sorry that she has not got her stuff together.
It's life, man. It's life.
No, don't take that forward. But man, I appreciate you joining us. I'm looking forward to tonight. Everyone that's joining in tonight, we're kind of flipping the script. Nathaniel came up with an idea, asked us to do it, and man, this is what we do. We listen to the people, whatever y'all want. This is
That's
why we
right.
do the live. So he's asking us the questions. He's asking the audience the question. This isn't just questions geared towards us. Anyone that wants to intervene, please put it in the comments. Let's really discuss some good topics tonight. But Nathaniel, without further ado, introduce yourself, man. Let everyone know who you are.
Nathaniel Cullars from Washington, Georgia. Been in this messing with dogs about 2 years. Started off as me just liking dogs, and kind of came into more of liking dogs and spending more money on dogs.
Fancy how that happens.
Fast. But yeah, you know Joe. You know Joe Caleb. He had a
Yeah.
dog about I want to say about 13, 14 years ago. And I asked him what it was, and he said a bully. And then from there on, I've been stuck trying to get me one. And now I got him. Now I'm trying to better him.
What's up? Yep, Joe goes
Oh,
back to the old Remy lines.
He
He
had
was
a
actually
nice boy.
part of the original Remy line crew. So, man, Shaq actually just tagged him as you were talking about him.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. He the one really got me in the bullies, man. Had a nice boy.
Yeah, man.
But
Heck yeah. So you?
one of my, you say what?
Oh, go ahead, man.
One of my first questions is really the question I started off with asked last week. How do y'all feel about all dogs not, well, not all dogs, all bullies not being as unison or uniform as, say, a Doberman or a Lab or any purebred dog, really?
Who would like to
Who
take the reins
wants to take
first?
things out?
well, you
Bruce, I saw you
ask,
pep up.
ask that question again.
I want to know y'all personal, how y'all feel about the bully not being as unison or as uniform or look one way compared to as a Doberman or.
It's because it's so many people have this vision. They want to create their own replica of a dog. And you got too many people doing the same thing, but different ways. You know what I mean? So they trying to create this. I told Caleb and them a few shows back, and I said it once again, this breed will never be consistent as a Doberman breed or, as another breed because everybody is adding blood. And now, since the Brazilian blood that came into effect, everybody gonna start adding Brazilian blood to their lineage.
Yeah.
So it'll never bullies, the American bullies will never be identical to each other. Never be. Never.
That's crazy. I
Mm.
feel like we should be working towards that, though. We wanted to be a purebred dog.
And you got to
I.
look too. Everybody,
Mhm.
everybody is not in it to show. You know what I'm saying? So there's people just in it for the freak factor. Just say, man, I got a nice dog. He's freaky, but
Mhm.
can't show in the ring
Yeah.
because of weak
They go
rears.
outside the yard with it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just different stroke from different folks.
Yeah.
I think that honestly, you're gonna ultimately you are probably gonna see a little bit more uniformity in the standard and pocket classes
Yeah.
than you ever will in the XL. And the only reason I say that, and again, it's I hope that I'm not right for obvious reasons, but I feel that the introduction of things like the Brazilian Bull have basically sanctioned people's vision, and it's superseding what is most important for the breed, which is obviously creating some sort of uniformity and sticking to the breed standard. So if you are allowing people to basically create their own breed, but initially, like, it's far enough from the breed standard that you can obviously tell the difference, and yet they're still being registered as American bullies. Now, obviously, Dave put
Right.
a kibosh on that recently by saying, okay, well, listen, moving forward, obviously, those who are already registered will be grandfathered in as XLs. But at the same time, it's just like if they're creating an entirely different breed for Brazilian bulls moving forward. So, however, up until that point, and even still now, if you are allowing them to continue being registered as American bullies, even though they blatantly are no longer uh, to the breed standard of the American bully, then you're essentially sanctioning vision as something that's a little bit more important than maintaining the breed standard and perpetuating it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I wanna key in on this. Nate asked a question. What about exotics taking over the fun show? Nate, I really ain't gonna get into that because I'm gonna tell you this right here. For a simple fact is, if I judge a fun show and if I got some dogs in there that fit they breed standard, I'm gonna go with that dog.
There we go.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care who's in there. I'm gonna go to that dog. And I ain't gonna go no farther than that. And I told somebody else the same thing. I would have never picked that dog. Never, never. But
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go into detail. But back to you, man. I had to say something because
Well, I do
I
have
agree
a,
with you, Bruce.
yeah, yeah. And I remember saying, and I think actually, Caleb, you and I had this conversation not too long ago. Exotics are in this strange purgatory at the moment. And a lot of it is because most of the breeders for the exotics just don't like each other. Like, so there's no, they will not work together to, the breed doesn't even have a breed club. So is it really a breed? Like I know that certain certain registries will allow for them to basically show, and there's kind of this rough around, like, okay, the head shape needs to kind of be like this, the muzzle kind of like this, and then the elbows kind of like this, but the feet like this. It's like there are certain expectations, but it's not a breed standard. It's not technically a breed standard
Yeah.
because it's not been created by a breed club that has been given authority to not just regulate, but to basically enforce the breed standard and hold breeders accountable. Until that happens, I'm sorry, I'm never going to actually, out of all the exotics I've seen, I can probably list on one hand how many actually I feel are going to live past the age of 5
There we go.
and have a good
What's
quality of life. So
exactly? What's the quality of life for these
until
dogs?
that improves, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's that, Caleb?
No, I agree with that. Like that's what I look at a lot of times. Not to pounce on one, the exotic, but the quality of life in these dogs. Some of these dogs look like they have a hard time moving. Have a
Fresh
hard
out the
time
womb, look like they got a
breathing.
heart.
Yeah, and talking to whelpers, that have actually whelped exotic litters. There's some horror stories. Like it needs to be a little more polished before so many breeders jump into something, because there's not a
Yeah.
clear direction on where we're going with it. But there's so many
Right.
breeders that are jumping on the money train.
yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I got another question. How y'all feel about this kind of piggyback off my first question from the dogs not being unison? How you feel about them bringing the Merle into the situation and already not having a 100% sound breed?
Well, hey, this is my point of view on that. Merle is coming on around. You know what I'm saying? When they first came out, they had a lot of flaws, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now they're getting better and better and better. And who was that we had on the show we was talking about? That was Dave Wilson. That was Dave
Don,
Wilson. And man, actually, everybody that had Merles that wanted to show in the show, he wanted to bring them out and to have a showcase for the Merle.
Yeah.
on the
But
biggest stage of the year, the
yeah,
biggest
Yes.
stage of the
and
year.
100%.
didn't nobody bring them out. Didn't nobody bring them out. But it was kind of contradicting. But they here now. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, he contradicted himself.
Yeah. Here, Nate, I'm going to answer that too before Amanda. I don't care what pattern, I don't care what color, as
Right.
long as it meets the breed standard and can reproduce the breed standard.
Yeah, because
So
I've
like
seen
Bruce
a
was,
couple Merles that's
Yeah.
yeah,
boned
look at,
out head,
man, optimistic.
chest.
TBK is optimistic. He is the father of the dog that Angel Chavero is showing right now. I don't know what the dog's name is. Championed out. He's gone to 2 ABKC shows.
Mhm.
In Excel, he championed out in 1.5 shows, then went into the champion class. The last 2 shows of the last show got 2 champion wins. In Excel, once you go in the champion class, you're going against every other classification of American Bully. You're going against the pockets. You're going against the standards. You're going against the pockets. So there's Merles that can reproduce that look that they have. So again, I don't care what pattern. I don't care what color. I'm not a color chaser, pattern chaser. I just try to chase the breed standard and the best
Yeah.
representation of that standard.
Hey, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you another thing too. Remember, Dave was saying that it was a lot of people that didn't want the Merle in the sanction shows.
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like they were just scared because of more competition.
Yeah.
that too.
You
I
know
think
what I'm
it's
saying?
good.
More competition to coming into the ring to kick butt.
Yes.
And especially considering that, again, just like Caleb said it earlier, like, you know, there are some dogs out there that have been coming to these shows that look better than some of the dogs that have been coming
That's
to the
This
right.
show.
last weekend's perfect example. What's that dog?
Yeah.
Leon? I believe his
Um,
name is Leon. That's a Grand Champion Crypto's son.
That's
That was
right.
at Shanika
Yes.
White's show. I believe that's what the
Yes.
dog's name is.
It's either
Beautiful
Leon
dog.
or who said Apollo? Someone mentioned Apollo being possible one of them.
Apollo's the optimistic son. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's that dog's name that I was talking about.
Right. And so this one, the one that was at the most recent show at Shanika's Ballin' with Bullies, damn. I mean, damn. Beautiful animal. Beautiful animal. It was one of those, that's the dog that's going to prove, I think. And watching him debut in KC at Bully Marathon in Atlanta, Jim making history. You know, you're a part of the big day where that dog proved everybody wrong.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So
What
I'm
else you got, Nate?
okay for it. And it better it's better that it happens earlier, like in the first 20 years of the breed, than 40 years down the line when it really hits people off.
There you go. And people need to realize that too. You know, we're roughly 25 years into the breed. So, you know, comparing them to a Doberman, comparing them to a Dalmatian, things like that,
Not
those are 80, 100, 120 years, you know, in the making. And I'm sure they went through these
Mhm.
growing pains. You know, I
Yep.
wasn't there. I don't know. So I don't know the extent of them. But yes, we do need to do a better job of every breeding should be bettering the gene pool
Yes.
of what an American bully should really exuberate. And I think, like Bruce was saying, until everyone gets on that same page and really goes after the standard in that gene pool, like I said, every dog is entering that gene pool of American bully once it's registered as American bully. So us as breeders need to do a better job to make sure that we're bettering the gene pool, make it better than what you entered when it was, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
So breed for the better.
Yeah, for sure. I got a question about my favorite class. That's I want to say a little iffy because I see so many huge XLs with long jaws and back the size of yesterday, like super long. And they pick these dogs to win. And I ain't gonna say I got the best looking dog, but I've been to what 3 ABKC shows, and I feel like they be picking for the girth of the dog or how big the dog is. Cause man,
It's
it's
fair.
some lookers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm with you, Nate. You know how I like them. I like a short back.
Uh,
I like the weight disbursement. I don't care how much. When people sit there and ask for stats, a lot of people are asking for the weight of the dog instead of
Right.
like what does the dog look like? Like if the back is short, if it weighs 110 pounds, that's better than if a dog weighs 160, but the dog is now 36 inches in length and 26 inches in height because that's what we're running into. And I understand what you're saying. I want a very, very compact bull. The shorter the back, the less likely there is for a sway in the back, the less likely there is for a high rear. You're minimizing the flaws that could possibly take place with the length of the back once you shorten the back. And then you're making a bull because it's all right there.
Mhm.
Like
right.
we need to shorten the back. Like when we pick puppies, that is a non-negotiable. Top skull and short back. I'm not gonna have a long dog here. We
And you
don't
know
breed mad
what?
dogs. We breed American bullies.
That's one thing about XLs. You know, a lot of them have slight high rear because they are a little longer, and they are lenient. You know, to a slight high rear with XLs. You know, um, I'm saying that they can get away with it because of their XLs. Y'all see what I'm
A
saying?
little bit more. Yeah,
A little bit.
they've actually tightened down on that a little bit.
I said slightly. I said slightly. But in just like Arc, I'm gonna use Arc for example. Arc is massive, right?
Big
He
dude.
does have a slight high rear, but he does carry mass, and he's really not that long because he's long, but the mass that he has, it kind of like balances him all out, so to speak.
Well, like what
So
you just said, it needs to be balanced. You need to have a balanced dog.
that's right.
Everything needs to be balanced for the dog to look the part.
Yeah. But every
But
dog, I mean, go
I
ahead.
think Nate. I think Nate that a lot of, and I've seen this. We actually saw this, Amanda. We were watching pretty intensely at the Bully Marathon in
Mhm.
Atlanta, withholding first place.
Oh, yeah,
There
that
needs
first
to
judge,
be more of that.
Vanessa.
They did what that?
They
Oh,
withheld first
yeah.
place
Oh, for
on a
Hmm.
real?
couple. Oh
Yes,
yeah,
she did in the
on the
XL class.
female, a couple age groups. Like there was a lot of XLs
Yeah,
there, but she would go up to them and explain exactly why she was
she was
withholding and things
the
like
first
that.
Vanessa, I believe.
Yeah, I believe the second judge did the same thing, but that's good because going to shows and getting
Yeah, I mean, she's very old school, so she's
yeah, going to
good.
shows and getting getting grand champion titles. That's telling the community this is what you should be breeding towards. Like this is a good representation of the class of American Bully that you're breeding. So that is the example that they're setting. So if they're letting longer dogs with a lot of flaws get champion titles, you're misdirecting the community.
Hmm.
Because as a community, we got to do better to breed, but as registries, we got to be better to make sure that we're breeding towards the right representation of that classification of American Bully. So everyone just needs to be held accountable to it.
Hey, and you know what, Caleb? I wish every registry would do that. Hold first place, maybe second, because I have seen some grand champions. I don't know how they made grand champions. You know what I'm saying? I done seen it, man. You know, I
100%.
done seen it. How did that dog make grand champion? You know, I be thinking, you know, with the easty westy feet and hey,
This last weekend, I believe it was Jonte. I believe I saw him with home. Only dog in the ring, and he handed him a second place.
really?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Only dog in the ring, he gave him a second place.
that's
Hey,
technical
exactly.
withholding. It's technical withholding.
Hey,
And so I knew I saw that right because I remember looking. It's like, is the other dog already exit? And there was no other dog in the ring, so I was like, okay, okay. And I get it, and I do because again, just like Caleb said, it's just like if that's how
but
it needs
but
to be reinforced and
but
how you're actually holding people accountable, then that's what it's going to take. I mean,
but look, but you still get points with second place, right?
only
Not if
in
there's
other registries, not in ABKC. ABKC,
yes,
you don't get points for second place. It's first or bust.
yeah,
So
yeah.
in the mother registry, it's first place or bust. Now, I think ICBR and BRC, you get points for second if there's,
A certain amount of dogs in the ring.
yeah, and, you know, you're not just handed second when there's no first place.
Yeah,
I don't know if you get
yeah,
points for that or not.
100%.
I'm 100% sure.
100%. Yeah, if they withhold first and there's just second, I think there's got to be at least two dogs in the ring for them to get that. But hey, I'm gonna tell you a
Mhm.
story real quick. Like we got humbled very quickly. Like with Genesis, Genesis was a very, very good representation of the XL class, in my opinion. Killed it in the ring. Well, we went to a show in Birmingham, and he was the only dog in the ring. And so we're like, all right, shoot, we just go out there and, he's going to get first. No, Cindy, senior judge, ABKC judge Cindy. And I name drop because it's respect. It's not talking bad about her by any means.
Yeah.
She handed us second place, and we're like, oh, shoot. But you know what? She humbled us because she said, you come in here, you earn this. This is top astronaut. Like, you come in here and you work. You bring a good representation of the breed in here, and you work for that. And so every time now, even if there's just the only dog, we go in there like there's 4 or 5 dogs. We go in there, we stack them up. Hey, we're standing there ringside. We're right there. But, man, shout out to Cindy for doing that because, yeah, at first we're like, man, what are you talking about? This is a beautiful dog. Beautiful. He's young. He's up and coming. He's got very good qualities. But then she hands second. But you know what? We learned so much from that day. Never, ever, ever half-stepped again. Ever.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's crazy, but like, I mean, that it's the expectation to get in there and to do your job. I mean, I love it's an accountability piece, and I'm here for it. I think that's brilliant. So I love that you learned that so quickly and just ran with it, and you've just never looked back, because that's
Absolutely. And that's the importance of going to shows. Like, you see what you should be breeding towards, you see what the judges are looking for, because that is what the written standard, they're there to withhold the written standard and to show the dog that is the best representation of that. But Nate, I love the questions, man. What else you got? I know you had some questions written down on that, man.
Oh no, this is stuff I've been thinking about for the last 2 years. So my next one is, I really feel like it should be, I don't know what it could possibly be, but I feel like it should be a system or a group that helps filter through these people who breed dogs. Cause man, I done heard so many people. I'm not a big breeder by no hand, but when people call me and they be like, such and such was finna sell me this dog, and then they'll send me the picture of the dog, and it's a hound dog that's tried, saying it's a bully, and I'm like, they say it got ABKC paper. I'm finna get this. I'm not gonna tell you not to, but I think you should go on YouTube and search more and go do some homework. Cause, man, people be got spending big money on these dogs, man. Like,
yeah. I mean, these dogs are expensive, and you don't want to, invest money that you'll never see again, because we had this conversation, gosh, I can't remember how long ago it was, on the show, where we were talking about how essentially, like, when you start off, the mission is for your program to essentially pay for itself. Like, all that, any kind of money you're making off your breedings is going right back into your program to make it better, more efficient, provide more for your dogs, better kennels, better setups, more frequent, vet visits, or more equipment. Like, if you're, breeding, obviously, being able to have the equipment that you need, progesterone testing, spinners, stuff like that. AI machine, all that. Like, you need to have that stuff, and that eventually it'll not just pay for itself, but eventually you might be able to see a little bit of profit from it. But you're not going to see that, like, for a while, and you have to be realistic about that. And so, I think that it's one of those things that people don't think about that when they get in, and when they realize how expensive it is to maintain these dogs and to keep them healthy and to well. Like, ethically, obviously. They either see themselves out, or they,
And
end
Nate,
up making worse dogs,
and I'm gonna go a little bit further with that too, Nate. Man, this is why we have this podcast.
There we go.
We'll never be able to filter people out that trying to get over, that's not raising quality dogs. So that's why we encourage people to get a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Find somebody, or go to somebody that's already showing you know, that's already established in their bloodline. You know, it's many peoples out there that got nice dogs, and you just have to go out and put your hands on these dogs. You just gonna have to get out your quiet comfort zone and just take some rides. You know what I'm saying? Put
What?
your
Six
hands
and a
on
half
these
hours, Caleb?
dogs, man. That's what I'm saying. You got to go, man. You just can't. People people will sell you pictures, man, and hey, on the pictures the dog will look good. You know what I'm saying?
All
Yeah.
day.
So they have these dogs looking like $1 million. But when you get there, or I'm serious, man. I have seen dogs on pictures
Uh-huh.
that look so good, man. But when you really see them in person, they don't show you the angulation. They don't show you nice side shots. They always take a picture of the front.
With the
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
Always take it. They never. Hey, ask if you can't if you just gotta have this lineage, this blood, and if you can't get there, make them show you videos of the dog, gating away from you.
And
It's
see the
always
mom, the
things
dad, the
that you
litter
could do. Yeah,
mates, the
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
gotta come see in person. I can't even do no more. I'd never do another picture.
I was like,
Man,
I don't
hey,
trust you. I don't blame you.
yeah,
I
hey,
honestly
look,
don't
Nate,
and
blame
once
you.
you send them your money, you can't get it
Oh,
yeah.
back. Hey,
yeah, I
I
know.
Oh,
had
heck
this
no.
Yeah.
guy. I ain't gonna say what kennel, but they sell dogs high dollar, and
Yeah.
he he paid a stud fee. It was like a $5,000 stud fee on one
Yeah.
of their main studs. So he went there. He went there to see the dog after he paid the stud fee, right? He took his
Yeah.
female over there for the breeding. When he seen the dog, he wanted to back out. He
He
couldn't
said,
back
heck
out.
nah. This ain't
He
Walmart,
done
baby. You
paid
ain't
this
getting no
money.
refunds.
You don't get refunds.
Oh,
No matter if I'm going to take you to court. You'll spend more money in court trying to get your money back.
Yep.
So you either
Yep.
just go ahead and breed to the dog, which if it was me, that's just a $5,000 loss.
Exactly.
You
Walk
know,
away.
oh, I lost
Yeah.
there.
because look, the thing is, you got to think if you put that in your lineage, and even though you're not gonna sell anything, I mean, you're not gonna keep anything. You try to sell to make your money back, you gonna make your name look bad by selling. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. And Nate, your original question was, like filtering process of, getting dogs. It's the community, and you actually answered your own question. You said that people have called you and you've actually helped them with their puppy picking process, or whether to get this dog or what the case is, and you've guided them. So you've been an indirect mentor to more people than you realize, like telling them
Yeah.
to get the dog or not. But that is the filtration process that we need. And that is why we have this platform. That's why we try to educate to make sure people aren't getting taken. We're trying
Right.
to educate them to understand what the breed is. It's not about the money making
Mhm.
process or whatever, but you have to start with the right foundation to really build off of. So yes, the filtration process is us. And Dave gets so much grief, but he says this all the time. This is a community-based registry.
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
stands on that. So the community's got to take a look at themselves and say, what am I doing to help? Am
Yep.
I being a
Yeah.
help, or am I just being a deter, or am I just hush?
Right.
Because a
Yeah.
closed
Am I
mouth is
helping or
just as
hurting?
guilty as exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
Yep.
while I mean, and again, this is a phrase that I've used that actually, funny enough, Dave really enjoyed. It's you can't legislate morality. And it's 100% true. I mean, you can only do so much. But again, that's why we do what we do is, we want to ensure that access to people that want to see you succeed, but also want to see the breed succeed overall, that you have access to people like that, so that you're taking, you're learning as you go, and you're taking advice from good people, so that way you know what you're looking for, and you don't get sold the dream.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
Nate. And
interesting.
hey, and to go a little further too, like you actually stepping up to the plate tonight, asking these questions that a
Mhm.
lot of people, I guarantee, a lot of viewers are wondering the same questions. that you
Yeah.
reached out and said, "Hey, when are you going to have someone on?" And Nate never reached out and said, "I want to come on."
Nah.
Like he actually
Nope.
dropped a comment saying, "When are you going to have someone like ask questions, kind of flip the script, just so
Yeah.
everyone can get their questions heard?" And if anyone else wants to do the same process, we would love to, because these are questions that we want to answer and to better. But again, you're an indirect mentor tonight because we're like, well, you're the perfect person for it. So we asked you. You came on, you're asking very, very educated, thoughtful questions to make sure that people are really getting a good process. And I hope we're doing a good job of answering them, man. But good questions.
Oh, y'all knocking them out the park, man. I'm trying to keep up.
I'll take that. Thing.
What else you
Man,
got,
you
Yeah.
know
Nate?
what? When the bully game first started, it was so many dogs that was in the ring that I seen that was clean. You know,
Yeah,
the Gotti line, which was gray line, the Razor's Edge, all them dogs was pretty much clean. And you know, later on down the line, I could probably say 2010, it started going the other way. Maybe before then, but you know, I kind of noticed dogs going the other way and everything. And back then, you know, you had just like Remy is Razor's Edge. It was two dogs, you know, that branched out, but them dogs was nice, man. And seemed like it just broke apart. When them that blood just seemed like it faded out, you don't hear
yeah,
anybody saying nothing about Razor's Edge blood anymore
Except
you're
for
right.
and
Joe.
Remy
My
blood
boy Joe
anymore
gonna make sure I know
Yeah. And
about
then
and
that
they.
Gray line
Razor's
anymore.
Edge.
And you know what? And the thing is because everybody wanted their name or their kennel name in front of their pedigree. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
so now I can't even read the pedigree. I don't know the lineage of the dog because they done changed the name.
I gotta
And
go
I
yeah,
so
ain't finna
far
start
back.
back over again and trace it back. I ain't. That's too much work, man. I'm serious. That's too much work.
you're right.
That's a lot of work,
Yes.
man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I think that like in all reality, like whenever we talk about Razor's Edge and some of those older bloodlines, like we call them old school bloodlines, and we look at it like it's this grail, but at the same time, you think that to balance things out, people would want to get back to it. Now, there's some people that truly, truly do. I know that, that's kind of been a trend I've been hearing a lot lately, actually, is people saying, hey, I'm looking for, older Razor's Edge. I'm looking for Muggleston, but the old, like before Dax was, so it's like
Yeah.
they're looking for older things, and I get it. I mean, sometimes, when you start chasing extremes, you make messes, and sometimes that older blood might be the only thing that cleans it back up again. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
And
that's
Bruce,
where
you
they're
said that
headed. I'm not.
yeah,
Sinatra,
Bruce, you said
Sinatra,
that the,
hey,
oh,
Sinatra
go ahead.
did say he backed me up. He said
Yes,
2010 was
2010.
definitely a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
That's when things
Dax
started to go a little
changed.
bit more bulldog, I think.
Dax changed the game. Like before Dax, like there wasn't really those extreme. There was extreme features, but never ever before like Dax. So then
Yeah,
everyone started breeding
exactly.
to him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone started breeding to him. Then Rocco,
Yep.
Yeah.
Rocco came and everyone wanted to breed to him. And then look at Rocco's lineage. So now there's these dogs that have literally changed the game, influenced them so much that there's been so many people that have followed that it's like, what was it like before these dogs?
Hmm.
Because now everyone has used them.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's
It's hard to
definitely
see a pedigree without Dax in
You just killed my
yeah,
next
and
question, but yeah.
yeah.
it.
And I remember what did Sam call the crux? She
Yeah,
called Dax the crux for the breed. Like that was the linchpin. Like that was the one thing that, like, literally from that moment on, nothing was the same. Nothing was the same. The expectation changed. The breed standard eventually a
there
few
we
years
go.
after that would shift.
Yeah,
And it's yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
And you know what?
Okay,
I
y'all.
Sinatra said the right stuff. He said he's seeing that a lot of people using old dogs just for the names and not what they can actually produce.
And
100%.
Right.
that's not far-fetched considering that's
That's
really,
right.
really not, considering that they do
100%.
that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
And if
kind of
anyone wants
going
to learn
toward.
dogs, ask Sinatra. Inbox him,
Oh, this
follow
thing.
him.
Yep.
He is a walking,
Hey,
talking history lesson of American bullying.
Hey, and you know what? You know what?
All of it.
He was Sinatra knows so much about these dogs because all these dogs really started on the West Coast. He's over there
Yes.
with them on the
He
West
put
Coast.
hands
He
on
was able
all
to
of
hang
them. He
around.
has
Hey,
pictures of
if
all
I
of
was over
them.
there, I would have been doing the same thing he was doing.
Yes. But for
Yeah.
him to still educate like he does on a daily
Mhm.
basis with putting
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
pictures,
Oh,
and
he
he'll
lives
actually
for it.
put new pictures, uploaded pictures, because he found more pictures. And
Mhm.
I'm sure people send pictures to him. So if anyone has
Yep.
any
Yeah.
pictures of some very, very nice dogs, send them to Sinatra.
I
Sinatra,
be
you're
on his
Oh,
welcome,
yeah.
my
page
boy.
all day liking
Hey,
dogs, man. All
Oh,
I can
day
yeah.
say a
liking
dog,
dogs.
I can say a dog first name or anything. He'll finish it out. If I
Yes, he
forget, he'll finish it
will.
out. That boy tough.
Love his page,
Yes.
man.
Yep.
He posts some
Absolutely.
nice old
Absolutely.
dogs. That
And I love, yeah. I love when he
that
posts
crunch
stuff.
blood, the old
Because
crunch
a lot
blood.
of
He be
blood is in
posting.
my XL pedigree. So I was
Hey,
like,
he said
oh, I
everybody
can do
lives
that.
around the corner from him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but Nate, what were
Yeah.
you saying a
Oh
while ago, man?
man.
Huh?
What were you saying a while ago? It sounded like you're about to ask another question a while ago.
Oh, that was kind of my next question. Like, how you feel about people going to everyone going to the same dog and not just going to find a? Because like you say, it be plenty of people with nice dogs. They not as big or don't nobody go see the dog for real. So everybody going, like you say, the whole world going to breed the 5 dogs. You're gonna come out with the same thing and then you breed it back. Like you say, bringing
Hmm.
problems.
100%. Right
Yeah.
now, we live in such a social media influenced world that if
Yes.
a dog gets hot, everyone is going to go to that dog because of the name, because they're looking at it as I can sell these dogs or whatever the case
Yeah.
is,
Because
because
it's
there's not
fresh in
enough
everyone's mind.
programs.
Yeah.
There's not enough
Hmm.
programs where you're really understanding the direction you're going and the dogs that are going to help get you there. I'm not looking
Right.
for
They're
the
not
hottest
trying to
stud.
create their own outcross stud.
Yes, like TikTok, for instance. Like,
Mhm.
I haven't seen anyone ever use this dog, but when I saw him, I was like, there's no doubt about it.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm using that dog because that goes with the lineage that I'm looking for. Like, but
Mhm.
we are breeding to better our own program. We're not breeding to make a
Yep.
quick dollar. And I think a lot of people really are influenced by the dollar and by the social media fame they might get, because they're really
Yep.
just, it's herding sheep, with the media. The media portrays a lot
Mhm.
of people's opinion, whether that's in dogs or whether that's in real life too, because people don't want to do the hard. So they see this dog being used over and over. Well, that's the easy pick. But they have no idea what that dog is going to do for their program because it doesn't even make any sense.
Yep.
Ain't did no
Right.
research on the dog or nothing.
Yeah, so people need to understand, and there needs to be more programs, and they need to understand the dogs that are going to get them to where they're looking to get.
Yep. I agree. I mean, there's something to be said about, I mean, it's okay to outcross, well, obviously when you have to, but the real power move, the real flex is creating that on your own yard, is creating that outcross. And I don't think enough people focus on that. And they become so hyper dependent on those outside influences with the big name that they kind of lose track of. Make yourself the big name. You know what I mean? Create something that no one else can
No one's
at a
breeding for
consistent level that
longevity.
no one else can. Yeah, and breed for
Yes,
longevity.
they're
You
breeding
can
for
also
a
be
one
around
and
for a
done.
long
They
time. The stud you create will be around for a very long time. You know what I mean? Like something to be said
they
about
want
dogs
to
that live forever.
they want to cut the corners, and they want to do it in one breeding, and then they get burnt out after if it doesn't hit, because they don't want to invest the time, they don't want to invest the years, they don't want to invest the money to create a lineage and to have that outcross ready for it. So a lot of people are just trying to do a one hit wonder, and you're not gonna have a program off that. So like I said, you need to look at the stud that's really going to match up with your female and what you're really going for, and that's what you need to breed to. Like, forget the stud that's being used by everyone. I don't want to use the stud that's used by everybody. I want to use a stud that's used by nobody, but I've seen, well, not say nobody, but I've seen the producing power within the
Yes.
breedings that they've done and how they've paired up, really doing research. to see how that stud's going to influence the breeding that I'm doing with him.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lex,
and being willing to play the long game. I mean, this is chess, not checkers. And I mean, yeah, you're going to get a few random stories where miracles happen and you had no idea that this one breeding was going to produce the grand champion that literally becomes the foundation of your legacy. That doesn't happen often. We're talking like 1 out of the 20,000 people you know that happened to, and that's it. So it's like,
Very true.
mm-mm-mm. But yeah, Sean, he's like, but not everyone's going to get the same results because they're using mediocre female, but expect the hot stud to sell the litter off his name, obviously, with a subpar female. Yes, that is absolutely true. That does happen. Again,
Yep.
that is why we do what we do, is to, because we've said it a trillion times and we'll continue saying it, your female has to be bad. They
Has
have to
to.
be,
You
have
got
to.
to
I'm sorry, you
build
start with your.
off your female. Build off your females.
Yep.
Mhm,
The stud is just the icing on the cake. Like the female is that layer underneath that really sets where your program's going to go, in my opinion. But the
mhm,
female has got to be there. Like study mitochondrial DNA, study the importance of the female, and then
mhm.
find the stud that matches up that can get your program future. But the female, female,
Mhm.
female,
Yeah,
female.
I mean, how many people we talked to on the show that said that like their foundation that they're most proud of, it was that female, that one female that just completely outproduced
Yep.
herself time and time again. And they're just like studs are studs, but damn, this bitch produced, and the only reason I have what I have is because of her.
Yep.
And so I mean, you have to appreciate that. Even Dima's program, Dabco, started off on a female, Miss Bella. All, all his dogs had the same face, and it was her face. She just completely outproduced herself every time while producing herself every single time. Even her great
Yeah.
grandkids look like her. It's insane. And that's the thing. It's like if you create a really, really good, solid foundation female, that will build your legacy. That's my dog is barking in his sleep.
Absolutely.
That's
I
my
can go on Facebook.
That's my Bella's great grandson who's barking in his
Yes,
sleep.
I can go on Facebook right now and say, "Hey, I have a female coming in heat. Show me your studs." I don't even got to post a picture of my female. I will have
1,000.
192 studs, but if I post my stud and say, "Hey, who wants to breed to my stud?" It's going to be
No
a whole lot
females.
less because studs are a whole lot more common. Those bad
Mm-hmm.
females, like normally they have studs already lined up, so they're not going to just pick an outside stud. Like normally, if you have a female, that's you're building off of her. Studs a dime a dozen. You can find studs anywhere and everywhere. Like I like to build a stud, but I like a female to build off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Again, checkers not it's not checkers, it's chess.
Yes, 100%.
Nate's picking on you. He's talking about your dollar store Wi-Fi.
Is my Wi-Fi messed up? Because I can't even see any comments or anything.
It's
Go
Nah,
ahead.
well, if you
it's
can see
good.
the comments. I don't know if it's your phone or your Wi-Fi. I mean, I'm seeing comments, but I still can't see y'all. I have to have you guys on my laptop, and I can see you here.
Nate said we got
Yeah.
to be on
Here's
your
the problem.
Wi-Fi, so I guess something wrong with the Wi-Fi.
What, Nate main event?
Yeah.
Hey, Nate. Hey, Chris would never, my man. Chris would never, ever say something like this in the comments. Inside joke from the show.
Where's Chris James doing?
Oh,
Yeah, this is
Lord.
Jerry saying that it keeps blacking out. Now on my laptop, I'm seeing it'll flash, like it'll blip out for a second. The screen will black out, and then it comes back on. But it is blipping on and I have no idea why. I mean, I'm showing that I have signal. I don't know. I don't know if Facebook's doing something weird. My Wi-Fi is more like that Target or Publix Wi-Fi. It's a little bit better.
Hey, you know what? Jerry said something back a few minutes ago that I really like what he said. He
Yeah.
said there's just not enough serious breeders, hold on, in our
100%.
breed, period. microwave breeders.
Microwave feeders. I heard you
Yeah.
call them that.
He
That's
said a
right.
mouthful then.
That's right.
I love that.
Instant. Yeah, it's like yeah, instant mac and cheese. It's like I
And you
get
know,
it.
you got a lot of people that think they can make real quick money, and they get into it, and they see that it ain't all about how I thought it was gonna be. It takes a little
That's
longer.
me. That's me.
And look,
Yeah.
but they'll get out the game. They'll sell everything and get back out the game. But
My mama
if
ain't
you
raised no quitter, man.
yeah, but see the thing
She
is
gotta see
though,
this through.
don't get in it for the money, man. Get it for the love
Yeah,
of the breed. You know, for the love of the
absolutely.
breed, man.
I
You know,
definitely see. I've always been around dogs, though. It's just when you have a kennel, you gotta have time and the love. So
yeah,
love ain't
Yeah,
just gonna do it. You need that time too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's and that's one reason why we ask the question. Like one of the first questions we ask is like, what got you into bullies? And almost everybody's response is, I started in other dogs and I just saw this dog and I thought, damn, that's what I need to be breeding. It's
Yeah.
the
That's how
muscle,
I
the
got it.
temperament. It's like a trillion different reasons, but everybody has a different reason. And thus far, we've been really, really lucky that it's always been for love of the dog, as an answer. They love the breed, and what they saw. So,
Yeah.
I know a couple people who got dogs, and you can tell when they don't love them. They just have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
let's see
Yeah.
here,
So what other
Jerry
questions you got,
said.
Nate?
What piece of advice from each one of you would y'all give someone like me in my second year into wouldn't even say breeding dogs yet into getting into this game?
Man, look, take your time. Take your time. Find the right dog.
Mhm.
Hey, just go slow. Don't ever jump into nothing fast. Just like I say, find you an OG or find you a kennel that's already established.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Already established. So go from there, man. I mean, go to shows. Go out, put your hands on dogs, man. I don't know if you go to shows or not. You'll see a lot of nice dogs at shows. Um, you just gonna have to go slow, man, and cause if you go over here, you gonna see something else over there. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta
Yeah.
make up in your mind. Make up in your
Yep.
mind. It's just a slow process, man. Don't jump into nothing fast. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start right from the jump.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Find a good group of people that are going to hold you accountable. We put emphasis on mentors so much, but a lot of people want that mentor title because they're really trying to sway someone in one direction.
Right.
But a
Yeah.
group of individuals is really going to hold you accountable and hold those others accountable too if they're a real group of individuals. And they're going to be there on those tough days when you want to give up, and they're going to tell you why you got into it in the first place, or they're going to make sure that you're going in the right direction, kind of again like what you were talking about when someone reached out to you and said, hey, check out this puppy, what do you think about this? Well, instead of just asking one person, asking a group of individuals that you really trust, because now you're getting a different sway of opinions, and you can kind of gear yours on what's right for you. But then, like Bruce said, go to shows. You
Yes.
know, you've got to understand what the breed is supposed to look like. Because if you don't go to shows, you're just going off of the first person that sold you a dog, your neighborhood breeder, and that's all you think that the breed is supposed to look like because you've only gone to that one yard. You
Mhm.
can go to
Yep.
100 yards all in one building because there's the best representation of all these yards at that show, so you could actually see all these dogs competing against each other. And again, the best dog that represents that classification of breed should be the winner of that dog, and that's what you should be breeding towards. But going to shows, you get to see temperament. You
Yes.
get to see them.
And
You
really.
can't hide any flaws. You're not just looking at pictures. So go to shows and get you a good group of individuals that are going to be real with you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And
One thing
this
I
platform, I'm sorry, man. I want to say this real quick. This platform, we have a lot of people on our platform that have nice dogs. You know,
Mhm.
that even
Very
even
good.
Caleb got dogs. Jerry James got great dogs. You know, who else is on here? You got Tonio just came in. Tonio got dogs. You know, Sinatra, um,
Great dogs,
Adam.
great dogs.
Definitely.
All these
And
guys,
dude.
a lot
Yeah.
of these guys, Jerry got what is it?
Yeah.
Ramirez or something like that. He
Yeah.
got dogs. It's a lot
Sir.
of people on this platform that have dogs, man, that have nice quality dogs. So just like I say, man, any of these guys on here, man, reach out to them. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to them, man. They'll lead you in the right
Yeah.
way. Especially Jerry, man, he's solid. Jerry James, solid, man. The
Yeah,
beard,
he
Oh,
man,
is.
yeah.
he's
And
solid,
he's not
bro.
going to steer. He's not going to steer you wrong. And that's
No,
what I find that we've been really truly blessed with what we do is again we peddle access to people that truly want to see everyone shine and do the right thing and get the best results. And the beauty of this is that time and time again, towards the end of the show, the guest is always just like, listen, if you ever have questions, please let me know. Reach out to me. I'm on this platform, that platform, like reach out to me. I would love to be of use. And that's the thing. It's like that's why we do this. Is so find yourself people that are want to actually see you succeed, not just to stay beneath them or owe them. Like
Yeah.
they actually want to see you do better because you're the one that's following them up. Like, so if you don't want the future to be better than you did, something's wrong with you. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, just, and then again, just, make sure you have a good goal in mind. Make sure that obviously maintaining the breed standard is your base minimum.
There we go.
But definitely have an idea of what you're looking for and breed to it, breed for it. Create your own outcrosses. Breed for yourself. You can pet home everything until you feel like you've created a consistency that you could sell everything and it's the same damn dog every time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So be comfortable with the wait time.
Makes sense.
And if
and
someone's not willing to show you their yard or at least the mom or dad, that's red flags. Like a lot of people be like, "Oh, I don't want people coming over," or whatever this
yeah,
is. But
Do what you did.
I want
Do
you
what
to
you
invest
did.
in me.
You told me to meet you at a
Exactly.
store so I could see who you was first. Cool. Come on with
yeah.
it, man.
Jerry just said the
Yeah.
same thing. Jerry Ramirez. He said, put your hand, let him look at him move. Put your hands on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want to see
man.
the litter
Yep.
mates. I want to see the mom, the dad. I want to see the conditions that they're living
I
in.
want to see their
Yeah.
cousins.
If I'm
See
invest if I'm investing this amount of money into you because I'm buying from you instead of all these other people that I could buy from, you're not going to give me the hospitality to at least have me over so I can see the mom and dad so I can understand my investments? Like,
Right.
I'm sorry, that's red flags to me. Like you said, Nate,
Mhm.
like I had Nate got Exodus from us, Genesis' first son, actually Genesis' first puppy ever. And I
Oh,
told him to go to Walmart. And I met him there because I have a wife and two daughters here. Like, I protect my family first, but I'm still like, he's willing to make the drive. He's willing to make that investment because he's investing in our program. I met him over there, made sure he was who he was. And he came over here, and that was what, almost 2 years ago, and we've been tight ever since. But
Yeah.
like that's the filtering process, just to make sure that have a filtration process to make sure people are who they are, but then let them have access to at least the mom, the dad, the litter mates, things like that. Because if you're not willing to show those, I'm sorry, I'm not willing to spend money with you.
I ain't gonna lie, Caleb. If the
ooh.
Fullers community was like you and how you ran your organization, man, hey man, I think we'd be way in a better place, man.
Hey, I
Mhm.
appreciate that, I really do. But hey, that's
Hats
why we
off,
have
man.
this platform, so we can really
Yep.
gear people towards that and gear people towards what they need to be looking for, the red flags, the people that they need to surround themselves with. Like I said, Amanda, you know, we peddle people to other people. Like Amanda calls me all the time. She's like, hey, who do we have on there? Because she has like a question and it's geared towards something very direct. And we knew that we had someone on our platform that did it. So we sit there and brainstorm and we're like, it was Sarah Roach, or it was Terrence Reed, or it was Alex Ferrero, whatever the case is. But it's so
Yeah.
neat that now we can literally reach out to anybody, because like this platform has let us gain so much, and we get so much from it. And I hope that we're giving it back to the community.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the fact that we've built bonds with these folks, and it's just like we could reach out basically for anything. I had a question about flooring for a show ring, and I reached out to 2 people, and both of them got back to me lickety split. I mean, and they had different answers, and they gave me the reason why they use it, and you know, it's just one of those things where, because they want to see other people do well, and that
Yeah.
draws us to them. That's why, you know, when we say we're picky about who we bring on here, that's why is
Yeah.
we're looking for people that are wanting to share the sauce, so to speak. Like they want people to do better and to succeed, and they want this breed to perpetuate. So yeah, it's that I'm not surprised that, you know, they're so willing and so open and so quick to help when asked. But I still feel, you know, grateful for it. Not
Oh yeah,
shocked, but
it's humbling.
super,
Yeah.
very. Oh, Malik has a really good question. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on. It says, "What are your thoughts on a home run type dog, where the litter mates are nowhere near him, but that dog checks all the boxes? Would you use him for stud if he was a male? If that one home run dog out of that litter was a male, all the other ones didn't live up, but he did. Would you still use him,
I
knowing that?"
I
I'm gonna
might
say
sit back
this.
and watch the productions.
I'm gonna say this. This to give you your answer. I done had plenty litters that females, I kept like 2 females. They almost look the same. Muscles,
Mm-hmm.
everything. But
Yeah.
they don't produce the same. They never produce the same. So this litter might be fire, the whole litter. And her little May sister might not have but like 2 that's really draw dropping.
Yeah.
And you got
Yeah.
8 puppies left. You just gonna have to try your stud. You know what I'm saying? Now they got a such thing as COI, but I mean, I'm old school, so I don't go COI. I just, if he have the pheno and the genotype that you like, you just gotta try it. You don't have to go out on a limb and just try it. Try it. Don't be scared,
Yeah.
because look, sometimes when in these dogs, everything ain't gonna go like you think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's
So
a hell of a drug.
every litter's not gonna turn out. But if you get that one female, just like we said earlier, that always produce, that's the female you want to keep on your yard.
Right.
But
Yeah.
little
Well,
May sisters,
So,
I mean, everything ain't gonna be the same, man. It's
yeah.
not.
mm-hmm.
Hey, so the
I've
question
Oh
been
yeah.
there,
is
done
like, so
that.
if one stud out of that litter was like a home run, but the rest of the litter didn't look the part, will we use a stud? Correct? Because I can't see the questions.
That's what he was saying. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he
All
asked.
So
right. Okay,
yeah.
Malik, I'm gonna give you my response on that. All right, so our own program. So a lot of people are looking for those home run dogs, and they're not even asking about the litter mates. They're not even asking about the mom or dad. They're seeing that dog that's really standing out, got great pictures, being represented correctly, a very, very hot stud. The way I look at it, I want to see the dad. Who produced this dog? I want to see the
Yeah.
mom. Where did this dog come from, and how was it created so well? So with us, Duce was a very, very, very hot stud. Love Duce. I love everything about it. So I got to
Good dog.
studying, how was he produced? Yoko to a Muggleston
Mhm.
female. Okay, so that's the same way that Techno was produced. So then I'm looking at Yoko's productions. I'm looking at Matilda the Gorilla. I'm looking at It. I'm looking at Legend. I'm looking at Duce. I'm looking at Martial Law. I'm looking at all these dogs. So while everyone was going to Duce, what did I do? We went to Yoko on his retirement breeding to a Techno daughter, and it produced a whole litter of home runs. So instead of hoping I'm going to get a litter off of a home run dog, and I'm not calling Duce that, but I'm saying that he is the prodigy of a very, very good stud, I just looked at it in a different perspective, and I got a whole litter of home runs, and then I doubled back and used Duce to really double up on that Pheno and that Geno.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I'm just giving my little tidbit on that. And again, I'm not calling Duce like, a prodigy of that, but he is he is a home run, but he came from a very, very
He
consistent
absolutely
litter.
is. He's an
Yeah.
incredibly impressive animal. And I like that you dug deeper and you wanted to it was a probability game for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what I'm hearing. And you wanted to go with what would be more highly probable to produce more of the similar
100%.
dogs. So you knew what kind of dogs created Douce. So you're like, well, then I'm going to go with that because I've already got part of that equation on my yard. So,
Yes.
I think that, again, that was you went with the more probable result. And
And then
that's
went to Duce.
again,
We got another credit for Duce. And then went back
yeah.
and got an inbred Yoko daughter. I'm telling you, if everyone does the research on our program, you're gonna be like, oh, everything was interlinked. Everything adds.
Mm-hmm.
And here in a few years, you're really, really gonna see a look stamped here, Bully Pride. I'm saying that right
Oh,
now.
yeah. You're already seeing it, and that's
Hey,
the
look.
thing I love is like we've got a tight knit group, and like he's got a couple of his productions from different litters with different people, and like they'll post update pictures and everything, and you have to take a second glance because every once in a while you have to actually be like, wait, who posts? Oh, Christine, so that way you know what dog it is because you
Yes.
can't, like, sometimes you can't tell. You have to double back and be like, wait a minute, which one is this? Is that yellow? Is is it because because that, so yeah, take that to the bank, Caleb. I mean, you've obviously,
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
creating a very, very consistent legacy, and that's that goes back to your willingness to research. So anybody listening in, that's how to do it.
Hey, and
Yes.
them two females was taken to the same stud too. So it wasn't, like two different studs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was
No,
taken to
just
the
two
same
separate
stud.
litters, with the potential to maybe not produce the same thing, but damn if they didn't.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Sean's mentioning COI.
Oh yeah.
Well, and,
Now
and
we
so Sean says people also getting caught up in COI, but the dogs look nothing like its own lineage. Then there's dogs that have a lower COI but highly resemble their own parents, grandparents, and great grandparents. Yeah, so again, that goes back to genetics being a hell of a drug. Now I will say that COIs, it is a probability game, just like we said a second ago. So, if you go back and you look at genotype and phenotype, and you go back several generations, you're also looking at distant relations, like cousins, off of litter mates from each parent. Like, do your research and then find which pairings produce consistently more so what you're looking for, and then you go that route. So it's like COI can come to play. I've seen litters off of dogs that have a COI of 11 or under, and the pups all look like one parent, and it's not the one that had the higher COI. So
yeah.
it is possible, absolutely. Genetics are predictable. There's no one equation that always works. That's asinine. But again, it's a game of probability, and you just got to do the research and cross your fingers, and then be ready to pet home if it doesn't turn out the way you want.
Absolutely. We have a lot of tools now available to us, which gives us a
Yeah.
higher probability, such as COI. But hey, genetics is wonky at times. But I always trust, my two eyes. Like I've got to see the dog first.
That's right.
Then
No
I
doubt.
start looking into everything else. Then I look into the genome. Then I look into the COI, genetic testing, things like that. But the dog in front of me has got to wow me
Yeah.
for me to look into more of that. People always ask pheno geno. It's
Mm-hmm.
gotta be it's gotta be pheno. I don't care if Nate, if I told you my parents were Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, you'd be like, hell no. Hell
A good try,
no.
man. Good try.
But you know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
see,
Yeah.
but if I looked like them, which I look a little better, but
Yeah,
anyways,
looks obviously come first. And I mean, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but I mean, the same can be
Thank
said of
you.
the dating game. You're not going to just randomly walk up to a chick in a bar you don't find attractive. You have to initially find them attractive physically before you even try to look any further past, the facade. So obviously, yeah, I mean, that's a universal thing. You have to literally like what something looks like in order for you to even be interested in going further. So yeah, no, I agree. Both are important, but one of them is the first step of actually deciding if that's something you actually want to put the time into research. Malik has a question
100%.
specifically for you, Caleb. He says, starting out though, was this your same mindset, or did you have to learn that through trial and error?
Trial and error for sure. When we first got into dogs, we loved the breed. We got into it for the love of the breed. My wife specifically, when we first got together, we both had pit bulls. She actually showed me our first American Bully, went to Jason Sargent's, got Kane off Zulu Most Hated, um, fell in love with the breed. But we had never gone to a show. We had never really seen exactly what the breed standard. We were really just going off of a couple different yards that we went to.
Yeah,
When we got Genesis and we started going to shows, our perception completely changed. So it was definitely trial and error. And that's when we started looking at studs different. That's when we started looking at pairings different. That's when we really, really took our program to a whole different level. So we've been breeding about 7 years, but we transitioned about 4 years ago um, to the written standard. And I'm not saying that we were breeding away from it, but we didn't know what we were breeding for because we just liked the look of the American Bullies and didn't really understand the breed standard and what we were supposed to be going towards. So yes, definitely trial and error.
transparency. Again, none of us really, I mean, even when I started, obviously, some of you have seen, my XL. I fell in love with that older look, the leaner, muscle mass, and it's not what the breed standard demands now. So it's like, I mean, I started that way too, and obviously now it's like I do intend on heading in the right direction. But it's trial and error. So it it takes you admitting that you're like, oh, okay, let's come up with a
Oh
goal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you about
But if,
trial and error. I could tell you about trial and error. Hey, I've probably been breeding, longer than some of y'all, you weren't even born. But man, I done
yeah,
tried to breed all kind of ways, all different stuff. And you know what? The thing was, I didn't have a mentor, so
yeah,
I lost time.
Mm,
Um, I wasn't. I mean, I did everything on my own. That's why we try to preach to people: get
yes
you a
sir,
mentor. And I'm never. I know people get tired of me saying this, but I'm gonna never get tired. I'm not. I'm never gonna stop saying it because I've been there. I've been
absolutely.
there. So we
I love
trying to
hearing
yeah,
keep
Bruce's
people.
stories.
Hey, look, we trying to keep people from going through trial and error, so they won't
Yes,
waste money, so they won't waste time. You know what I'm
time.
saying?
mm-hmm.
Hey, I don't wish, man, because I wasted a lot of money. I wasted a lot of time. You know, and it just ain't
Yeah.
nice at all. Period.
Well, the thing is you have to give yourself some grace as well. You're supposed to learn something new every day. If you don't, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
So you've got to be willing to accept that trial and error as long as you're learning from it, and trust the process, trust yourself. Um, don't get dismayed by things not initially going according to plan. Use that and try to recalculate.
yeah,
It's everything's going to be okay as long as you learn from things and are willing to adjust. If you don't want to adjust, then this is probably not what you need to be doing.
yeah.
Yep. And I tell you a big mistake that I done over the years too. I tried to just breed by pedigree. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't be, but you can't do that, man. I'm telling you, you cannot
Whew.
breed by
It can be
pedigree.
deceptive.
Can't.
It can definitely be
Just
deceptive.
because what made these dogs and everything, and you want to put that together and see what you get.
Won't do the
Hmm.
same for you.
Not, no, not. I mean, some like one or two of the dogs out of the litter might resemble what you wanted them to, and then the other ones you're like, I don't know what happened. That's some recessive alert.
Yeah.
And at that point you have to decide how you're going to approach it, and are you going to continue to use that blood, or are you going to just kind of go in a different direction. We've got so many people, that have come on the show, and they have literally, and again, it's the candor alone with some of our guests has just been, really inspirational. They talk about how they had to start from scratch, whether it be because they realized they were heading in the wrong direction, or a loss occurred, or they got out of the game and they got back, and it's them starting over was, you know, that changed their perspective, and they were willing to take what they learned and then take their time. So it's definitely if you have to start over, you're not alone, and it doesn't mean you failed. It just means you found one way not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why I ask
Absolutely.
a lot of questions because I can learn from others' mistakes. I ain't got to go through it myself. If I see it didn't work for you, I'm like, I don't think I should try that. And I ask
Yeah.
you, how did you get it right? I'm gonna try that way. Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Hey, you're intelligent. That's what you are. You're wise.
Try to be,
Yes.
try to be.
What's the old saying? Like a smart man learns from a mistake, but a wise man learns from another man's mistake.
I'm
yeah.
definitely wise there because, boy, I
That's
like
why
to watch
we're
others
here.
go
That's why we do
first.
this. That's why we do that.
Yeah, but I think everyone trial and error and then come back, do your research, learn, educate yourself, and man, come back even stronger. Like
Hmm.
without error, you're never gonna understand that. You're never gonna have that loss where you got to get gritty, you got to get hungry, and you got to come back at it. So loss is not always a bad thing if you turn that loss into a lesson.
I don't know. I'm loving
Yeah,
it
but
that we got some questions coming in from the comments. That was kind of the goal. And I really like how there's some folks that are in the comments as well answering those questions. Um, like Jerry answered a couple questions in here. It's like I'm digging it. I'm
and this is
digging
what exactly that's exactly what we're hoping for tonight. Like open some people up to answer questions, ask questions. And I wish I could see the comments because I love when there's relationships that take place in the comments, because that is the start of a relationship when they start dialogue and then they friend request each other and then they continue that dialogue and they're learning from each other. Like this is exactly what
it.
this platform's for. So Nathaniel, I appreciate you coming up with an idea and then us asking you to be that person because I think we succeeded in what we were looking forward to do tonight. And if you have any other questions, I would love to partake in them. Um, but man, I've
To
enjoyed
be
this.
honest, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but I was getting so much while y'all was talking. I was thinking all that in like every little piece that I could use there. That was just going in my brain.
That's why we're here. We want to teach them, baby. Jerry is gonna ask. He wants to ask a question. I'm waiting for him to type it. He's like, I want to ask
Oh
a
I
no,
think
question. I'm
I
like,
think
"Oh,
he
Jerry,
was trying to be
Jerry, you
funny.
never know. You never know
I
oh,
with
think he
well,
was being
Jerry.
funny.
you honestly never know with him. I mean, he might genuinely have a question for us on our opinion on certain things. I mean, I have enjoyed getting to know him, and it all
I like
starts out
Jerry.
as he owns Grand Champion Cerberus off of that
Yeah.
yeah, that, oh man, that litter. Anyways,
Hangman
so
litter.
he's got this beautiful animal, and he's a real humble guy, but he's a real go-getter, and I think, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and he really wants to talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's no, getting to know him's been real fun. I'm really excited at the prospect of having him on as well. He said, so what has been the most dumbest reason why y'all have lost a show? Oh, mine's easy. Mine's easy. My dog sits on the judge.
Your dog does what?
He sits on the judge, like during inspection. When they start inspecting the rear, he sits.
Hey, look, I
He's
can
like,
tell you what.
nope, I don't really do like that, and just sits. And that's something we're working on. But no, he sits on the judge. And I actually, one of the more recent shows, not this most recent, but the one prior, I actually had a judge tell me, he's like, your dog was the better dog, but because he won't let me inspect him, temperament's a part of breed type, and unfortunately, I have to get to the other dogs.
Yeah.
Damn.
So look, so I'm gonna tell you mine. So I think this was last year. I took Art to nationals in South Carolina,
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
and we was in the ring, right? I don't know why he was acting like that in the ring. So I'm trying to stack him. Normally, I'll stack him, and he'll just look at me, waiting on me.
Yeah.
He'll pull his leg up. We start fighting against each other. I push his leg back. He pull his leg. I push his leg back. That's
Not today, man.
we was fighting against each other in the ring.
I
We
would have loved
lost.
to see the video of
We
that.
lost. But yeah,
Man,
hey, I don't know why, man. It was just that one
Nate,
time we was just fighting against each other.
He's looking at you like, not today, dude. Mm-mm.
I will be very honest, and I haven't told too many people this story about one of my first times in the ring. I actually stood on the wrong side of the dog. And like I'm talking about I had it stacked up. I'm sitting there like I'm not talking about just at first. I'm talking about why he's trying to evaluate. I'm keyed in on the
You're
dog.
standing with him. You're following him around the dog.
I'm stacking her up. I'm taking it so serious. And then I hear Nakai
Oh,
like, hey.
shit.
And so he's already here in first place when I'm trying to get on the other side. Like, they didn't even see my dog, man.
Been covering
He's
her
like,
up.
sir, can you move, please? Get out of my
But that was on
baseline.
me.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
I only, I've normally, anytime I've ever walked a dog prior to owning show dogs naturally, is like, I always walked on that other side of the dog. And so I
Yeah.
remember, before I got Adonis, Mary Scribner, who produced him, she had already started show training him. And so when I got him, I would take him for walks, and he would keep on zigzagging to my other side. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? I don't like this. What are you doing? And so I told Mary, I was just like, gosh, walking him, he keeps zigzagging. She's like, what side is he trying to walk on? I was like, my left. And she's like, no, that's how I've been show training him. He's trained to be on your left. So I was like, oh. So, I mean, that seared into my brain because my dog was trying to train me. I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I
Hey,
do.
y'all got any tricks or easier way to train puppies to not crosswalk you? Because I've been trying. I know time and probably some tricks,
Time,
but yeah.
time, time. You
Yeah.
get it. You get it.
Because
Mhm.
you can see he coming around, but going around the block, I can get over 50 yards or something. He
Yeah.
stay on the
Stop
Oh, yeah.
left
him.
for a bit.
Stop him when he starts to do it. Reposition
Yep.
him and then reward him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or kind of
That's
like when you
a tactic.
walk beside him and kind of like when you try to do it, just hold him over with your leash, hold him over and don't let him cross over.
Yeah.
That'll
Okay.
work too. I got one I'm trying to break now, man. She will she'll walk she rather her body to be on your leg when you walking.
Uh,
She's going to be like this on your leg. I hate that, man. I
Man.
hate
yeah.
that. Man.
That's your
Mm,
dog,
mm,
dog, right
mm,
there.
mm. Oh,
Oh
Aaron wanted
man.
to say, wanted to let us know. Say, my friend, she ran out of the ring while the handler was showing her. She ran
I remember
straight
that.
for me.
Oh gosh.
Oh shoot. And I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you
Push on the
something.
so
loose.
Hey, sometimes when your dog's attached to you, You don't need to be, if somebody's showing your dog and he attached to you,
Hi.
you don't need to be nowhere in the vicinity that your dog can see you
Hi.
Absolutely.
because that's gonna throw him off and he's not gonna pay attention. All he want to do is come to
Mhm.
you. So if you got somebody showing your dog and he attached to you, you might just need to walk away because that'll cause you to lose
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Well,
Good
and I
advice.
noticed that like a good trend that I've noticed is that handlers actually taking possession of the dog for a short period of time. It doesn't even take a long time. They will do that prior to the show so that that way they bond. So even if you are there, they've already been basically trained to focus on the person that they're with, which is the handler. So there's something to be said about isolating the dog with the handler if you know for a fact that that dog is going to look for you otherwise, if it's just with a stranger. Um, so yeah, I get that tactic as well.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for y'all. Who is y'all's favorite handler to watch?
Miss Alberta.
I like. I like that answer.
She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. It's and this isn't because of any kind of bias or because I just love this person as a human being. Um, I love watching Hannah. Uh,
I was gonna.
and
Yep.
yeah, and I'm telling you, a lot of it is just because there is equal amounts of discipline and joy. And I can't explain it any other way. I can't explain it any other way. But she gets in there with those dogs, any dog that she's in there with. And again, it's pure discipline and joy. And you can tell that she loves it, the dog loves it, and it's I love watching that woman.
Yeah.
I don't know if this
I
lady
agree.
has.
Jerry says Dusty. Yeah, she I believe she campaigns Cerberus, correct? I believe so. But yeah, but
Dusty.
she's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna say
And
Nate.
then Jerry James said Devin. I love that.
Yeah.
She's also fantastic.
See, I haven't been to quite as many shows as y'all, so I don't have as many to go through. But I would say Molly for me.
Fuchs.
Absolutely.
Molly Fuchs.
Yeah.
She loves her
Oh,
dogs.
she's
I
so
You can
love watching
fantastic.
tell,
Molly.
like you
I
can
love
tell her
her.
dogs
She's
are
so
her
nice.
kids.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bond she
she
has.
she makes
Yeah.
good dogs. Yeah, she makes very good dogs. Aaron Williams says you mentioned Tonio
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Nate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tonio tough
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Tonio
Jerry,
I
I'm
love
tough.
not
watching
that
Hannah
either.
too. And then Tim Sinclair. Like we gotta name Tim Sinclair and Anthony Gray. Like
Mm-hmm.
Tristan Batista
Yes.
when he was at his pinnacle too. Like he's kind of out of dogs right now, but Tristan, as soon as he got the lead on a dog, he just had
Mm-hmm.
complete control and patience of the dog. But yeah, there's some
Mm-hmm.
very, very, very good handlers
Yeah.
out there. But
Chris
I love watching
Nightingale,
Hannah.
Christina Mattis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do y'all know the dude that wears the fedora hat? I don't know his name.
The
Yeah, that's
young man, Logan, young
Logan.
man,
That's Logan.
Logan
Yeah.
Jones. Yes, also phenomenal. We've all been watching him as a group since he was a junior handler.
Yeah.
So that's been wild. You know, he's really evolved.
I think I
Yeah.
bumped into him at the dog show in Columbia, Georgia.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and then Tone and Pre, their daughter Christine.
Oh my gosh.
She scares
Her with the
people in the
Frenchie
APC. Like,
hero. It's
oh,
ridiculous.
vibe. It's a whole vibe. Like their vibe is a whole vibe. And I remember, and I brought this up on several occasions, but one of my favorite pictures is Christine has got I want to say it is Hero on the examining table, and she's got him hyper focused, right? And you can see this lady in the background with her Frenchie, and expression on her face is like a conglomeration of like respect and fear.
Yeah.
Because she's looking at
Yeah.
us like this young kid is about to whoop my ass. Again, it's respect
Nate,
and yet fear.
hey, she's literally taught this dog how to like read postcards and act out the whatever is like written. The dog
Yeah,
will act dead off a postcard. Like literally act like it got shot.
but
Like
what played
Grand
that in
Champion
his
Hero
face.
will like fall over. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's super impressive. Super
It'll say
impressive.
speak on the card and the dog will bark. Sit on the postcard, the dog will sit. Like it's a video. Tone will share it every now and then, but it went viral. I was like, this is crazy. How'd you teach a dog how to read?
That's what I'm getting at.
Teaches that dog so many things. Like, I mean, the dog's been in a commercial for crying out loud. Like, he was so well trained that they put him in a Purina commercial. It was insane.
The dog was
So cool.
stolen, and Tone went on this venture to get this dog back.
He
And
shook down
said when they got the
Atlanta. John shook down
for like
Atlanta
2
to get this dog, and
weeks.
I think another one of their dogs. Yeah,
Oh my
it's
god!
balls on that man. Woo.
That's crazy.
Man, that's some
Yeah.
dog right there. He wanted that dog back. Dang. Mm,
Hey, also the video of
funny.
Samson with no lead on
Yeah.
at the show. I think it
Iconic.
was actually at USBR Nationals, something like that, a few years ago.
Yeah.
No lead in the
Yep.
show ring,
The
and this dog
the
did
whole
everything
round, the down the
perfect.
back, did all without a lead.
Yeah, Grand
Intense.
Champion Samson. I think he's what, 3-time national winner. Shout out to Mark and Tamara. Like they got a program over there.
Mm-hmm. Yo, yeah. I agree, Jerry James. They do need to make a movie with that hero. What a story that would be.
Yeah, but Nate, you got any other questions, or is there any other questions coming across in the comments? Like I said, I can't see the comments at
That's
all.
what I'm in now. I'm reading all the comments liking them.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh yeah. No, I've been monitoring the comments and everything. I love that people are shouting out their faves. I mean that is
Uh-huh.
again. I love it. Absolutely love that because it's. I feel like sometimes the focus is so hard on all the negatives that we forget the great people that are out there, the great things that are being done, and so yeah, I definitely love shout outs and spotlighting people that are doing great things, not just for the community but for the breed. So yeah, keep shouting them out, people. I love it.
Hey,
Love
Caleb.
it.
Richard Keller said, "Did you play golf today?"
That's the one I was reading.
Did I play golf?
Yeah, today.
No, I didn't play no golf. I wish. Oh
No, I'm pretty
gosh.
sure that you're not allowed on the golf course without a ball cap on because you blind other golfers. They miss their shot.
Yes.
Totally.
Hey, shout out to Richard Kelly. I met
That's
him this weekend. That's
crazy.
actually the one that won the puppy class in the fun show. Hey, that's a cool dude right there. I like him.
Who? What now? Wait, what?
Richard
Oh,
Kelly?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Nate, what were you gonna say?
I was finna say that. Man, reading
Oh.
comments.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Hey,
Yeah.
but
Reading
continuing
the
with the shout outs. Hey, Jeremy James and Malik Thomason, both of them have been going live a lot with a lot of educational
Yeah.
What name you
topics
said?
and really, Jerry James and Malik Thomason,
Mm-hmm.
some very, very, very good content that they've been putting out. I
Yeah, I
love
catch
listening to
Jerry.
both of them when they go live. Yeah.
Yeah, when I catch Jerry on, I try to tune in.
I need to follow him.
Yeah, because Jerry was actually just talking about mitochondrial DNA in females, I think yesterday, the day
Yeah.
before. I always try to get on and I always try to sneak, like, I'll be on a conference call. I'll be listening to Jerry James.
Yeah,
Like
I'll
in
be
my
at work.
ear. I'm just like,
I'll be
this.
at work. I'll be listening to him.
Yeah, and then Malik, I'll catch a lot of his videos like after the fact, but I'll go back and listen to him because there's some
Yeah.
really. He's a young man that's really, really knowledgeable, and him and his dad popping up at shows, going to
Yeah.
shows.
I got to meet him at the show this weekend.
Yeah, cool people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to shows, it's so fun because now it's just like a family reunion because
It kind of feels that
so
way.
invested into it and have met so many people. Like even when we went up to Kentucky, like we were
Yeah,
embraced so well. Like shout out, pull up, shut up, Sean Fredericks and Stuart Flagg. They already got part two in the works.
yeah, and I do love, obviously, you see all the people that you love seeing and everything. But man, it is so cool to meet some people for the first time in person. You have an online presence, and so like you can speak with them online and everything. But when you actually physically meet them in person, man, there's nothing like it. So I think that's another reason why I like. Um, ABQC Nationals so much, just because you're going to see some of the people that are typically in different regions of the U.S. So it's like if you go mostly to just local shows, you're not going to see these cats. Like so like the only time you're actually going to see them is either by driving to their region or by going to nationals. And I think that's been one of the most fun aspects of going to that specific show. It's worth traveling to because of the people that you get to physically meet. The dogs you get to
Yeah.
physically put your hands on for the first time. You've seen them in videos, you've seen them in pictures, but for the first time you get to put hands on this dog, and it really puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Jerry James, like I actually got to finally meet him in person as well when we went to nationals, and we all went for margaritas afterwards. Yeah, yeah. Well, because we
Amanda,
have a tradition where we go to a very specific Mexican restaurant, because the margaritas they make are really good, and that's what we do after nationals. And Jerry got to join us this last round, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. So.
that's actually where we
Hey,
met Amanda.
Mhm.
Same bar.
That's where
What?
Amanda, me and you met at nationals a few
We
years ago. She
did.
was coming.
That's right. That's
She
right.
she was coming down like an escalator. She said, "There you are." I was like, "Who is
boy, boy,
Ah,
you sounded like Cat Williams
Where
then.
was
You sounded like Cat
that?
Williams.
I think
uh,
you starting to slip into senility.
Oh shoot.
Wow, bro, a little
that's
less wax
exactly
on the
what took
nugget because
place.
yeah, what? No, we did meet at nationals, and I remember the judge. And I know that he's really serious about the fronts. Like, obviously, total dog and everything, but he hyper focuses on the fronts. They have to be right, or he's not going to put the dog up. And so I remember walking up to he and the Kai, and they had their daughters with them. And I was just like, hey, be really careful with how you position his fronts and everything. He's a front man. And it was just really, really fun to kind of like meet that family who I love in person for the first time, but to feel like I'm watching them do this big thing for the first time and be able to share that with them. It was super fun.
It was.
Super,
Mhm.
Then we all got to go to nationals together, and we got to see that epic showdown. Hangman Zeus, Grand Champion Blue. They
mhm.
can
Yeah,
never ever duplicate that. That was
Oh,
the
electric.
yeah,
coolest moment.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
Nate,
that
people
down
were
is bad.
going crazy. I've never heard a dog show so loud. People had signs up. Man, the ring was completely surrounded, and it came down to 3 dogs. It was the Grand Champion class. There was like 32 dogs. He kept making cuts and cut it down to
Yeah,
3 dogs.
he whittled.
Hangman,
Yeah,
Grand
watching him do
Champion
that. Yeah.
Hangman, um, Grand Champion Zeus, and Grand Champion Blue. And they did this down and back. And literally, we were right there, ringside, front row, as they were coming down, like chill bumps, like as they're coming, because this is what it's all about. This is the
Oh,
pinnacle of the competition. And it was just an amazing, like, and Hangman took it. He actually took Best in Show right after that. And it was just, man, amazing moment.
yeah. Yeah, and
That was
it's
fun.
it's fun watching the different judges too, and how they analyze, what's in front of them. I mean, everybody judges a little bit differently, and that's been kind of refreshing. So yeah, big shout out to Joaquin on that one. He was the judge that nationals, and it was great seeing him work.
It was cool meeting him at the Bully Marathon too.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was-
When Rolando said that he was going to be one of the judges for one of the 4 shows on Saturday, I just about lost my mind. I was like, well, then I'm definitely going. Like, not only was I going anyways, but now I'm like, I have to be dead not to go.
And then Marco Suarez showing
Yeah,
up, Bobby Fluke showing
I
up.
have to have an obituary. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we've had
super
fun
cool.
shows.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Nate, I've enjoyed this, man.
Yes.
You ain't the only one.
Good live.
This was very informational for me.
Yeah, man.
That's
Well,
the
shoot, I hope
point.
everyone enjoyed it. If there's any other questions, we'll answer them. But if not, shoot, I'm gonna hit the sack.
Oh, I know
Oh,
your
yeah.
phone number. You know I'm gonna call.
You got it. Hey, use it, man. Hey, and this
Appreciate
time you
y'all,
don't got to meet
man.
me at Walmart, man. Come on over, Nate.
I got you, man. Just gotta get that drive together. I'm not a distance person.
Man, you and Joe. Hey,
Oh, my
Joe don't
boy
mind
Joe,
driving.
Joe mine. He go to DC with no problem.
Oh yeah.
I
But no,
appreciate y'all,
I've
man, for
enjoyed
having me
this.
on though.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks for
No
for
Oh
problem.
man.
doing this. This is a new thing that I really really enjoyed. I feel like we all I feel like I learned some stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited about possibly doing this again.
Oh, yeah.
Next time I come on though, one of my dogs have to be champion there, so I'm gonna hold myself to that one.
We gonna see.
Hey,
We definitely
I
is, cause
like that,
I
and
ain't
we'll hold you
quitting.
to it too. We'll hold you to it
No.
too. When you champion, hey, reach out to us, and we'll get you
Yeah.
right back on, man.
All right, so I'm gonna have to
That's
make
And
the
let us know
prequel.
because we want to
Yeah.
know how you feel. We want to know how you feel when you checking that boy out, girl or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I got
Yeah.
y'all.
All right, guys. Hey,
Appreciate you, Nate.
it's been an awesome night.
Yes, sir.
All
All right,
right.
Big Aunt.
Oh yeah, such
Amanda.
fun.
Peace.
Peace out.
Bye
See y'all
everybody.
later.
This will go up on
All right,
YouTube by
man.
the end of the night. Bye everybody.